Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I've always believed that no matter who we are, we've all taken something special away from the songs of Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires. The beautiful ballad Dream Come True was one of those songs that you couldn't help but relate to because of just how beautiful the lyrics were and how everything made perfect sense about that song and how the people involved with the collaboration of the music video really made that song so special for many of us because we saw ourselves in that song, thinking about that one special friend who has remained with us and been the one thing constant in our lives we call every night, we tell everything to, because they're the only one who's helped us see everything through. And that's what's so beautiful about life, and that's what's been always so beautiful about this friendship and should always be appreciated. So when it came to recording reviews about things like music videos and the soundtrack for Descendants of Zombies, I wanted to say something nice, especially if I was going to be a part of that soundtrack. There are far too many people who never take into consideration the person's feelings who are watching these videos because you guys feel very deeply passionate about Descendants of Zombies. That's truly undeniable, and that's to be noticed and that's to be recognized. And what I mean by recognized and honored is say something nice about their favorite stars to give them something to believe in terms of the future, which we are all setting ourselves up to be a part of, which is coming indeed for Descendants of Zombies. I think there are far too many people out there who never wanted to give these franchises more of a chance than they probably should have, because once you do give Descendants of Zombies a chance, I can promise you and personally guarantee that you will fall in love with these franchises. The power of Descendants of Zombies is truly undescribable for the effect it's had on so many wonderful hearts, and I think that songs like Dream Come True were so loved because they were so relatable. It made you think of your own life. It made you think of your special friend that you've been friends with for forever, that you may have became friends with over Descendants of Zombies because you bonded. Because that's really what happened, is you bonded over songs like Dream Come True, and they were so relatable. They were far more relatable than even the writers and producers expected they would be, because you saw yourself in those songs. You thought of the chance of you learning how to fly. You thought of the chance of you learning magic when you saw Nova shoot fire out of her hands. I think she was the fire girl. Wasn't she the one that used to shoot the fire out of her hands? You guys are going to have to forgive me because I've reviewed so many Disney movies over the years, I don't even know if I'm coming or going. For those of you who don't know, I've been on YouTube for a very long time. I've been on YouTube longer than many of you have been alive, so I've seen the best of them kind of come and go. And when I read stories about how Freya Sky is the first girl at just 16 years old since 2008, when Miley Cyrus became the first girl ever to make it into the top 10 chart, that really warms my heart, because I saw something special in Freya from the very beginning, just like all of you, and I've always believed in Freya's ability to really shine through, and she's been shining through for forever, so we should support her. We should find time in listening to her music off Apple Music and YouTube Music. We should buy her EP to support her, even if the EP costs us $1 million. I think everybody would buy it, because you saw something special in her, and what that something special was obviously a hero. And I think that a lot of people, the thing about people who review people like Freya Sky, they really don't have a greater appreciation for her, or don't really know that much about her. I mean, not many people can tell you that Freya Sky's favorite Disney princess was always Rapunzel. Not many people can tell you that her favorite soccer player was always Pedro Porro, who played for Manchester for a number of years. I know this because I covered sports for forever. There are a lot of people out there who just don't have the same appreciation for you that you have for Freya, and the thing is, that's why they can't create relatable content for you. So the one thing I've always strived to do is create relatable content for you, just hoping I was going to touch your heart in some way or somehow through the videos that I would create, to give you hope in being excited about the Worlds Collide Tour, because many of you are probably going to be getting this as going back to school gifts, because you're heading back to school for a new school year. Of course, this tour will kick off on September 25th, so many of you are probably going to be getting that as a heading back to school present to offer encouragement to do well in the school year. Probably some of you have had your tickets for months. Probably you guys have had tickets for weeks now, and you're just counting down the days on your calendar. You probably got it circled for the Worlds Collide Tour. So why, as reviewers, can't we just say something nice? Why can't we just put it out there that the Worlds Collide Tour is going to be something special with or without Freya, with or without Kylie Cantrell, because what we're setting ourselves up to be a part of is the introduction of new stars who are trying to make names for themselves, just as people like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky did years ago. Because I remember this girl at just 13 years old, Freya Sky, of course, and she was on this show called The Next Step. I worked with YTV many times over the years, and they're beautiful people. And what they do is they create these shows to give stars like Freya Sky a chance to make a name for themselves, because it's all about how you guys respond to people like Freya. And I've worked with so many people who've tried to make names for themselves so desperately in this industry, but Freya Sky almost instantly, just as fast as you could snap your fingers, the one thing I never ever forgot about her was how instantly you guys took to her. And how you saw inspiration in her fashion sense, the way she put beautiful lyrics to beautiful melodies, and her songs made perfect sense, how she sang those songs so clearly. That's so beautiful about her, how she's so young, but she's singing these songs so clearly. A lot of British artists, you can't even tell if they're British or not, and they can never sing their songs clearly, but when it comes to Freya Sky, she sings every lyric so clearly, and every lyric makes perfect sense. And the cool thing about Freya is, her music is never really trying to let you know what she's going through. It may be on times, but at least 95% of her music is trying to let her know how you guys feel, because she's trying to relate to you. It may be about something you're going through, or something that you're having to deal with in a relationship or a friendship that you can never make sense of. Because a lot of guys out there in this world really can't understand how a girl just wants to make everybody she surrounds herself with happy. And I think the quicker more guys realize that, the world would be a more beautiful place and a far more content place than what it is. Because really a girl never wants to hurt anybody. A girl just wants to be friends with everybody and make everybody around her happy. And why can't we as guys just accept that? We're pretty much just idiots in the world taking up space. You guys are the ones who make everything make sense. And I've never ever wanted you guys to forget that, because you are special in so many different ways, and everybody is special differently. Because if everybody was the same, if you think about it this way, if everybody was the same, the world would be a pretty boring place. I'd be just sitting here using my hand as a chin support, talking about stuff that probably never made a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people. This YouTube channel was created for you. It was always about you and who you wanted discussed, who you wanted profiled. And so it just happens to be Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky. I say let's talk about them, and let's have fun while we're doing it. Let's give people more of a reason to believe in themselves, perhaps more than ever before, and give them a chance to be a part of something so special, something to look forward to, because we're hearing rumors about mermaids and witches and sirens, everything being thrown into the mix for Zombies 5. They're saying summer 2027 is looking like the tentative release date for this one, the tentative release window, and I'm really excited about it. Now, I was saying for forever, you may have heard of this guy, I was saying for forever that Zombies 5 is going to happen in 2027, and it was forever until so many people took to that. But I was saying for forever because the release window for the Disney Channel movies and the movies for Disney Plus just happen to be every 2 years. And I think what 2 years does is it really limits you to what you can create. But if you have like a 3-year window, even a 4-year window, you can create more. You can develop more of a powerful script. There's a lot of budgeting that has to go into this, and a lot of expenses that you don't really hear about or see, and a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that we don't really take into consideration. So I think the longer the window is, the longer the gap is between the releases, you're going to have a better production. And I think that's why Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires ultimately went on to become everybody's favorite of the franchise, is because the story was just so beautiful. It was so captivating. They shot a lot of these scenes in the nighttime. I particularly love nighttime scenes because there's just something about the nighttime sky and the stars. And ever since I was little, I remember this scene where Simba was trying to explain, or Mufasa was trying to explain to Simba how the great kings of the world looked down upon them from the stars in the sky. And I never ever forgot that, and how Simba just took to that and took to his father's advice, because Mufasa wanted them to go on to become something far greater than even he ever imagined that Simba would be. And he eventually indeed did, because he learned from his father's lessons. And I never ever forgot that scene, and I never ever forgot how special nighttime scenes were. It was something I always carry with me. So when I saw them film scenes from 7 p.m. every night till 5 a.m. the next morning for Zombies, I had so much respect for them. They were so young. They were going to set every night at 7 p.m., getting off at 5 a.m. in the morning, probably going to get a burger from Burger King or McDonald's like I used to do years ago when I used to be DJing, so I know what that's like. I have so much respect for your favorite stars, and as long as I have a breath in me, they will have something nice said about them on this show. So if you're looking for somebody to say something nice about Descendants of Zombies, you should look no further than Jonathan Clarke and trust in his opinion. Now, I know my opinion on things like zombie apocalypses and alien invasions have been very different, different from other people. But that's what's made these videos so special. That's what made these videos so captivating for so many wonderful people, is I've been able to touch the hearts of far more people than I ever imagined possible. I've loved every moment that I've had the chance to share in with every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because every fan of Descendants of Zombies has felt very differently about this franchise. And if I was ever going to say anything at all about your favorite stars, because I knew how much they meant to you, I was going to say something nice. I didn't care what anybody else had to say about Descendants of Zombies, because their opinions were obviously very different from mine, and they didn't really believe in alien invasions or zombie apocalypses ever happening in this lifetime. They wouldn't even take a chance on preparing themselves for a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion. But you know something? That's what made these videos so fun, is that I could talk about alien invasions and zombie apocalypses apparently, and everybody would love it. And millions of people have watched these videos and thousands have subscribed. And there are still people subscribing here to this YouTube channel because they've obviously seen something special in everything that I've had to say about their favorite stars. You know, just yesterday, I told this story on one of my podcasts about how I saw a girl walk into EB Games. I don't know what she was buying or what she was doing there, but she had a Freya Sky t-shirt on that she paid over $50 for off FreyaSky.com, because Freya Sky wants a lot of money for these shirts, and she deserves to ask for a lot of money because she's worth it. And I remember just how passionate she was about Freya and how she was telling everybody in the store that she loved Freya Sky. I have no idea if she knew I was a content creator that created hundreds of videos about Freya, but I will never forget how passionate she was about her, and that's why I shared that story with you guys, because you're probably somebody who feels the same way about Freya, who doesn't care how much a hoodie or a sweater is from Freya because you love her so much. The thing is, there are a lot of people who will criticize the merch quality of Descendants of Zombies and the value of it because they don't want to pay $50 for a t-shirt or a hoodie. What you got to think about is your son or daughter loves it so much that they will sacrifice everything, an arm and a limb, to be a part of this. And as long as you can understand that, there's no price tag on somebody's happiness. So if you can give them a reason to be happy about Descendants of Zombies, if you can offer them encouragement that something special is going to happen, don't worry, every night you shut your eyes, Zombies 5 is going to happen, then do it. Don't discourage them from, leaving Descendants of Zombies as a closed book and never opening up more widely. Give them a reason to believe in magic. Give them a reason to believe that happily ever after exists. Because we only have one life to live, and that life is not very long. That's the reality of life. We never know how long we have. And I never wanted to be remembered for being this jerk who always said something negative about Descendants of Zombies. I always wanted to be remembered for that one guy that you could trust in his opinion and believed in Descendants of Zombies just as much as what you did. Forgive me because I don't feel like other content creators, and I just want to give these stars all the praise in the world. But the thing is, guys, I do it because they deserve it. And they are a part of a generation that is very special, that I have felt more than honored to be a part of because of all of you, because you guys allowed me to be a part of this generation, to say nice things about Clarke and Trell, to say such nice things about Freya Sky, just hoping I was going to inspire you, to offer you some incentive that something special was going to happen for these franchises, and indeed it has, because it's blowing up. People have blown this out of proportion, blown it out of proverbial water. So excited about things like mermaids and sirens and witches happening for the franchise for the first time ever, and indeed that's what makes this franchise so special. I don't know if I'll ever have the chance to jump inside of a vortex for you guys and come back and tell you what I discovered from within it, but it would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool to be in all these action scenes where I take on thousands of zombies and fight to the death, because I believe in zombie apocalypses and alien invasions apparently more than anybody ever did. But again, guys, that's what's made this experience so life-changing for me and so special, is that I was able to relate to you in ways that I never imagined that I ever would have the chance to, and it happened because of you. Because you saw something special in this really, really crazy guy who may have thought that he lived in a haunted house for forever, who's suffering from a zombie infection every night up to 6:15 p.m. for some reason, but I don't know what's happening there. But guys, seriously, thank you so much for choosing this YouTube channel every single time as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because it means more to me than words could ever say, and I know that I would not be here if not for your love and support. So keep on loving Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, and I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, do all that fun stuff, because I promise you I will give you something to believe in more than anybody ever has, indeed of a future of Descendants of Zombies, which is something for all of us to be excited about. It's coming, and we are all going to be a part of history, and there's no better way to experience that history than by experiencing it together. Thank you so much for allowing me the chance to create so much relatable content and so many wonderful videos for so many wonderful people. It's forever and always been my honor.